Good morning and good afternoon, and welcome to this little video short on how in the world I made this proposal. All right, so this proposal is a sample. I want you to understand that this is a sample. That means this is something that we could use as a guide as you're working on your project. Okay, and what this video is going to focus on is a couple different things here. We're going to look at everything from this table on up. How in the world did this happen? How could we reproduce this in Google Docs? Now, do you have to reproduce this exactly as it looks here? No, I want you to have a certain amount of creative freedom with this, okay? And I'm not going to limit you to the size of text, okay? So I'm not going to limit you to 12 point whatever, right? This is a proposal. I want you to be creative with this one, right? However, there are some things I'm going to be looking at, and you'll want to refer to the reference document and the expectations for that, okay? So refer to the assignment links, all right? But we're going to look at how we created this title. We're going to look at how we got this text in here, this image, along with this text. How do we get it side by side like that? And then how did we get this table in here? And how did we format it, right? The rest of it you should be able to handle, all right? So a couple things I'm going to point out here. One, I was pretty, creative with the title here, the Gaming Nerds Budget Computer, all right? Pretty simple. This is when I allowed gaming computers to be built for this project. Do I allow gaming computers to be built for the project right now? No, not at all, right? So, this is, just an optional title for you. Remember, this is your project, okay? Just don't call it something ridiculous like Frou Frou Kitty Pants, okay? That ain't gonna work, all right? So, you got the actual name of the computer system here. This is the Alienware Alpha, and you got the total price for everything included right here, all right? So, this immediately tells the person who you're making the proposal to what it's called, all right? The model, what you're proposing, and the total price. You got a brief description over here and a picture of what the computer system looks like, all right? And then down here, okay, we have a table, a 2-column table with 5 rows. So columns 1, column 2, and then 5 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all right? On the left-hand columns over here, I have what the features are. The features are the things that it comes with. And then I have the reason that we chose to include these features, all right? Example, 6th generation Core i7 processor, multi-core processing for speed and efficiency, right? We talked about the difference, speed and efficiency, all right? 1 terabyte hard disk drive, right? Remember we said that hard disk drives are less expensive than solid state drives, okay? So you got a whole terabyte of storage on this computer, and it holds massive data with minimal expense, all right? So you get the idea there, okay? So let's take a look and see how in the world we made this happen. So I'm going to Control L out of this thing. If it'll let me Control L out of this thing, Control L, there it goes, right? All right, cool. We're right back to our thing there. So let's go to Google Docs real quick. So let me pull up my Google Docs and F11. All right, so here we go. So how did I do these things? Well, first things first, I started with some basic text, right? I've already done my shopping at this point. So let's just say I've already done my shopping and I want to include some things. I'm already getting my layouts. I already have my images ready and I'm ready to start putting the proposal together, all right? So here's what I got going on, okay? First things first, the title, right? The title, should it be in the center? Should it be on the left? Should it be on the right? That is 100% up to you, all right? Now, I chose to go into the center. So how did I do that? Just like we did with our keyboarding essay, I simply moved that to the center using the center tool. So I took my text and I used the center tool right here. Remember, center align, all right? Before it was left aligned, now it's center aligned, right? And I'm probably not going to hit justify because justify doesn't even really do anything in this case because there's not enough text to justify anything. And I'm not going to align it to the left because that looks weird, so we'll just align that in the center, right? Now, I am a little bit more free here with the title, okay? So let's say I wanted to make the title bold, okay? And then let's say I wanted to make the most awesomest PC ever as the title of this document or this proposal, and I wanted to make it moderately big. Not crazy, but moderately big. Yeah, that's good, but it kind of dwarfs the other text, right? So you might need to adjust this size accordingly. Let's say 12 or 14 or what have you, all right? And let's go, instead of 18, that's a little crazy. Let's go to 16. All right, 16. Well, oh, no 16, so we can just type in 16. There we go. All right, very good. All right, so I get the most awesomest PC ever, the Dell blah blah, for $5,500. Easy enough, right? Now we have some text that I've already inserted here, right? And you could read that text on your own. It's a joke, okay? But you get the idea, all right? And let me zoom in just a hair. So I'm going to Control Plus to zoom in, if it'll let me. Zoom in, zoom in. There we go. All right. Now let's say I wanted to insert some pictures. How am I going to insert a picture here, right? How am I going to get the picture off the internet and place it onto this this document? Well, it's pretty simple, actually. Here's what it takes, all right? So let's go to my screen that I already have prepared. Oop, it is on this screen, my bad. So I'm going to F11 to exit out of full screen. I'm going to go to bestbuy.com here, okay? And of course, you can see what's going on in my background here. You can tell what time I'm recording this. Oh boy, it's early, right? But there you go. And let's say, it's not. Let's pretend this is a whole computer. I just put a webcam on here because I wanted to use this as an example. Right now, I'm on bestbuy.com. You can see, hey, bestbuy.com, HD webcams, bestbuy.com, right? And so like you're wanting to include some pictures, right? Now, this isn't a PC picture, but you get the idea, right? So the idea is the same, okay? So let's say I wanted to use Logitech HD C615 black. Aluratech 1080 HD cam with microphone black. We'll just go with this one. All right, I'm going to right click. Not left click to select it, but right click to get this menu. Remember, there's right click. Oops, sorry, on your screen. There's right click and left click. Right click, left click. Right, your mouse has two buttons. You get it? Okay. All right. So right click the image and then go down to copy image. Well, that's easy. Well, you haven't done everything yet, right? So you're going to go back over here, okay? I want F11 again. And let's say I wanted that at the end of the text. Not in the middle of the text, not in the side of the text, but at the end of the text, right? And I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to paste it. Mr. C, it put it at the end. And I don't want it to be on the end, because now when I start typing, look, I start typing, and... oops, sorry. Typing and ... Where? It's not working. All right. What do we do? What do we do? All right. So here we go. All right. First things first. Let's go ahead and resize this image down. All right. All righty. Let's resize. Whoopsie. Control Z. All right. Let's resize this image down. All righty. So I'm going to select the image, okay? And now I can manipulate or change what the image looks like, all right? And I also have some options down here, and I'm going to show you what that looks like here in a few minutes, right? So let's see here. I could change this image. Now, if I click here and drag up, oi, it makes it all squinchy. I don't want a squinchy camera. I want to keep it in its original form. No squinchy images, please. Okay, so no squinchy images, right? So what I'm going to do, instead of maneuvering it that way or maneuvering it that way, oh dear, no longer is it squinchy. It's all squishy. All right, no squinchy or squishy images. All right, so here we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it down here on the diagonal line and click and drag up, and that keeps its ratio. So it's no longer squinchy or squishy, okay? Then notice when I select the image, hey, this is new. I haven't seen this before. This is actually fairly recent, right? Before you had to right click and choose your text wrap. What I'm going to do is I'm going to choose here is where it's at. It's inline, all right? That means if I were to keep on typing, that's why you saw the image kind of start typing down here, because it's an inline image. I don't want an inline image, and I don't want an image to break the text either. I want it to wrap around the text, right? So now I am free to move this image within reason, okay, around the text. Now, if I go too far, you can kind of see where it changes things, all right? Like if I were to move it up here, I am now interfering with these lines over here, so it shifted them, all right? But by having it on wrap text, I can maneuver the image around. Also, note that I am not exceeding this line right here, okay? So you look, watch here. I am now exceeding this line. This line right here, okay, is the margins line, okay? It's the indentation line. I've seen a lot of students start playing with this to make it all fit, okay? You start going beyond the perimeter of the page if you do that, all right? So what you want to do is you want to kind of bring it close, okay? And then if this is your title, this is your intro, and this is where you want your image at right here, okay? All you got to do is slightly increase the size of your text. Let's try size 12, see what happens. All right, there you go, a little bit better. You could maybe shrink this a little bit, or you can increase this to, say, size 13. All right, oh, if it'll let me do 13. 13? 13, no? No 13 for you? 3? There we go, thank you very much. All right, so there you go. You can kind of see how you can kind of change that. Now, the cool thing is that if I'm here and I press the Enter key to go to the next line, now we can know that Mr. C will now include a table. Okay, very good. All right, so now we have our title, we have our image, we have our basic text, our introduction. Now we're going to get that table, okay, and we're going to put that table in. So how exactly do you put a table in? What does a table do, right? Well, I already showed you on the document beforehand, right, that the table, you had the 2 columns, right, column 1 and column 2, and then you had some rows that told you what was included and why you included it. All right, everything stayed the same. What's included, why you chose it. What's included, why you chose it. Why did you choose an i5 processor over a single core processor? Okay, that kind of thing, all right? So what we're going to do is we're going to insert, go to table, right? And then now we could draw the table. We want 2 columns, and let's say we want to go up to 6 rows, all right? And instantly we have our table, all right? So now here are your features. Okay, here is the purpose of the features, all right? And you're going to do that each one, okay? So you got features, and I'm just going to copy. Control-C, down, Control-V, more, Control-V, last, Control-V, all right? And then you have the purpose of the feature, so we just Control-C, all right? Quick commands, right? Control-C, Control-V, right? It's the same thing as going right. Oops. It's the same thing as going. Yeah, close enough. Let's try it again. Right click. Copy. Right click. Paste. All right, same thing. You get the idea? All right. Now let's say that you're only using 4 lines. You input 6, but you decide that I only want to use 4. Well, that's fine. All you got to do to remove the extra rows, simply select the rows, right click, right, and then delete 2 rows, all right? Then down here, okay, you can input, and then continue on, continue with your description. All right, there we go. Get the idea? All right, I hope that helps you out, and hopefully you'll be able to put some stuff together. So let's see, if you have any other questions, feel free to contact Mr. C. And then if you're on Columbia Homeroom, make sure you're participating in the Google Meets on the assigned time. If you have any questions, you can ask me then, okay? And then, of course, if you're in class, make sure you raise your hand, ask Mr. C a question. And if I've already covered it, you know, don't be mad when I say, hey, it's in the video. Make sure you check out this part, okay? All right, I'll conclude it there. And look, hey, we did it in less than 15 minutes. All right, work hard.